We're coming to you from the Detroit Historical Museum, where Detroit Public Television has just announced a partnership that will expand the station's coverage of Detroit's story. And of course, that story includes the revitalization of the city. Here in Midtown, the Ilitch family's new sports and entertainment district is dramatically changing the landscape. When the District Detroit is completed, the city will have a new state-of-the-art arena for the Red Wings, plus 50 blocks of businesses, parks, restaurants, bars, and residential developments. More than $250 million in contracts have already been awarded for the project, with the majority of the work going to Detroit and Michigan companies. Joining me now from one of those companies is that's working with Olympia Development is Douglas Diggs, President and CEO of the Diggs Group Heritage. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is a great day, great topic, but I have to share my first TV interview was with Sean Robinson.
Oh, was it really?
Strictly Speaking.
On WGPR?
On WGPR.
See, that's how small this town
and
is,
you talk
right?
about the connection. My father, who was a U.S. congressman, had a weekly TV show on
that's
WGPR,
right.
the Washington Update.
I remember that. See, this is the smallest town
big,
in
small
America,
town.
Right? All right, so let's talk about this new district. It was a pretty controversial idea when it was pitched. The public subsidy for the Red Wings arena is still one of the things that sticks in some people's craws. I see the work that you're doing as sort of coming behind that and making sure that if we're going to do this, it should be done fairly. And
right.
the level of participation has got to include those people who live and work in the city.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and early on, there has been discussion about public subsidy, but it's public investment. And I think what you're seeing through the work that we're doing and the commitment of the Ilitch family, early on, Chris Ilitch said, we're going to make sure that this is Michigan-made, Detroit-built. And part of that commitment is that 30% of all contracts to build the entire district and 51% of the workforce will be Detroit businesses and Detroit residents. Yeah. And he has stuck to that commitment, and we're seeing it play out. So with over $250 million in contracts, over 60% of that work has gone to Detroit businesses. We're hovering around 50% with the workforce, and over 90% of that business or those contracts have gone to Michigan businesses.
Yeah. When you talk about trying to ensure that kind of inclusion, there are a lot of hurdles to doing that still, even in a city like Detroit. Talk about how you find the businesses who can do the work, and how you sort of give opportunity to people that if you work on this, now you're going to be able to do some other things with your business in the future.
Right, and so one of the things, early on we held several outreach events to both businesses and residents, kind of tailored around the event center, but all along we've had businesses who are interested, if you can build out a small retail store, but you can't build an arena, register at districtdetroit.com.
Right.
And so we're starting to work with those companies as the district, as we move beyond just the event center and move into other opportunities. We have a wealth of businesses who have registered, and we'll begin working with them. So we've, kind of the behind the scenes, not the big fanfare. We're working with companies, help them get their bonding, help them get insurance, understand how you do bidding. Working with the unions and the skilled trades to develop programs so we get our Detroit residents working on this.
Yeah, I live not too far from where the arena is now taking shape, and I have to say, I drive by it every day, and it seems like, it's sort of a shoemaker's elves kind of story down there. It is moving really quickly. Every night it seems like they are doing an impressive amount of work, and we're going to see a building there soon.
Absolutely.
But of course, this is not just about that arena, it's about that whole area. Talk about, over time, what are some of the other things that we're going to see happen around it?
You'll see hotels coming in. The Wayne State Business School
the new
announcement
business school,
was
sure.
made. Residential units, a wealth of residential units will come in. Retail, and we're starting to turn our attention to retail. We'll be working with the Michigan Black Chamber and other ethnic chambers to make sure there are opportunities in the district for businesses. So we have a Louisiana Creole gumbo moving from, opening a second location, creating those opportunities for Detroit businesses in the district.
Yeah. when you're working with these businesses over time, will they be able to stay involved throughout the entire process? I mean, how many years do you expect that this will create opportunity?
We're going to be building structures over there for a long time.
It's because there's really nothing there right now.
There's nothing there. Not a lot there. There are a few structures which will be rehabbed. But for the most part, you'll see a lot of new construction coming along. There'll be the new Little Caesars headquarters going in the area. There'll a significant amount of development. There'll be opportunities for businesses. And the key is for those businesses who aren't quite ready right now, working with them now so that as the opportunities come along, they're ready for those.
Yeah. That neighborhood, which is, some people call it Midtown. Some of us, like me, grew up here in the 70s, 80s, know it better as the Cass Corridor. There's, of course, all kinds of tension around who calls which neighborhood what.
Right.
But the Cass Corridor itself had an important history here in the city. What are some of the efforts to sort of maintain some of that character, recognize some of that history, even as you bring in new things?
Well, the development plan has been very focused on on building of the fabric of Detroit and making this the Detroit entertainment district.
Right.
We're not trying to build Disney World, so we want to build the fabric of the community, working with Cass Tech, working with other partners in the area to make sure that we're a good partner and this district grows together and just like the Fox Theater, you probably remember the days of karate movies and your feet sticking to the floor.
That's right.
The Ilitches came in, put a significant commitment in that, moved their headquarters there, rehab that facility, keeping the characteristic of it. And I think you'll see that throughout the district.
Yeah. In addition to this project, we're also likely to see the bridge project down the river take off soon. There are some other big, large-scale developments taking place in Detroit, and I think that raises the question of whether we have enough people, enough businesses sort of lined up to be able to handle all the work. Do you think that's gonna work for us?
Well, as a small business owner, I can say, we're always willing to accept more work.
Merrier, right?
The more the merrier. That's a good problem to have.
But making sure that people are in position to be able to take advantage.
Certainly, and that's why working with the skilled trades and working with the various apprenticeship programs, workforce programs is critical. Because we understand we have to develop a workforce, just like with the businesses, so that we catch up on the next project that comes down the pipe. They may not be able to work on the arena,
right,
but let's make sure we get people in the pipeline and a great living wage.
Yes.
This truly is. The goal is for this truly to be a catalyst project for the city.
Yeah. Does this connect directly to efforts that are going on in neighborhoods? I mean, we're starting to talk about in Detroit taking the things that are happening in the downtown, midtown area and spilling them over into the neighborhoods. How does the money that we're spending here connect to that effort?
Well, I mean, it creates the economic base. For people to reinvest in the housing stock in the neighborhood, to make purchases at neighborhood businesses. That's the key. And what you find, local businesses usually hire local people.
Sure.
And so that's the biggest spin-off impact. What's happening downtown, that bleeds out into the communities because those people leave the construction site and go home to a house.
And go
they're going to a neighborhood. And that economic impact will continue to uplift the entire city.
Yeah. If you think of the places like the Livernois 6 Mile corridor where there's a lot of focus, you said earlier you would like to bring some retail into this Midtown corridor. We're seeing some limited success with those things in those areas, but we still haven't cracked that nut in downtown. What will be different about this district that will support retail?
So my team works with our group who will be doing the leasing for the retail spaces, and we're making sure that Detroit businesses are part of that process. And once again, we have a lot of businesses right there on Livernois who probably could come down and open up tomorrow.
Right.
We'd like to have those businesses come down to the district, open up. But we also understand there's some businesses, there's some people who have a great idea, not quite ready, still repairing the car in the front yard.
Right.
But, so that's why we're working with the Michigan Black Chamber on the Business Incubator Program to get them ready so that they will be able to take advantage of the opportunity, whether it's in the district or back in the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, and the key to that, of course, is density, which is the idea behind this whole project.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough, the goal is for this to be a catalyst project, to create the density, the people, and to have the economic impact so we can move our entire city forward.
All right. Good luck, and thanks for being here.